Every time prices rise, a little more of your freedom slips away. Groceries, rent, gas, month after month, everything costs more. If you feel like your paycheck just doesn't stretch the way it used to, you're not imagining it. You're witnessing the quietest transfer of wealth in human history, a cycle that repeats every generation. Inflation doesn't just make things more expensive, it decides who owns the future. Welcome to the Deep Finance Pro, where money, power, and history collide, and nothing is ever as simple as it seems. For most people, inflation feels like chaos, prices spiraling, savings evaporating, life getting harder. But for the powerful, it's order. It's how governments fund wars without raising taxes, how corporations erase debt, and how the wealthy watch their assets multiply while everyone else scrambles to keep up. The question isn't why inflation happens, it's why it's allowed to happen again and again. Once, money was scarce and stable. Back in the early 20th century, major economies were tied to gold. Every paper note had a metal backing. Governments couldn't simply print their way out of debt. Overspending meant higher taxes or defeat. Inflation wasn't a tool, it was a disaster. The Great Depression shattered monetary discipline. Prices fell, wages collapsed, banks failed, not because of inflation, but because of deflation. Debt became heavier, money hoarded, the economy froze. This crisis reshaped how policymakers saw money forever. After World War II, inflation went from fear to strategy. Buried under massive debts, governments didn't repay honestly. They let inflation quietly shrink their obligations. $1 trillion of war bonds lost value over time. Inflation was no longer a problem, it was a clever solution. In 1971, President Nixon closed the gold window. Suddenly, the dollar wasn't tied to gold anymore, only to confidence. Inflation became intentional, a design feature of the economy. Money could now be created infinitely. Debt could be expanded. And the real winners weren't savers, they were borrowers. Inflation flips money logic. Hold cash and you lose. Hold debt and you gain. $1 million mortgage today may feel heavy, but in 20 years of steady inflation, it becomes manageable. Meanwhile, assets, houses, stocks, land rise in value. Inflation shrinks debt and amplifies wealth. The same force that crushes the poor sustains the rich. It's arithmetic, not conspiracy. Inflation is the lifeblood of a debt-based economy. Without it, every dollar owed would need repayment at full value, which is impossible. For the average person, wages lag behind prices. Savings erode. Owning assets is key. Labor alone can't keep up. Inflation rewards ownership, punishes caution, and makes thrift a liability. Meanwhile, those who borrow strategically, real estate, stocks, see wealth multiply. Those closest to new money, banks, governments, corporations, benefit first. By the time it trickles down, it's already diluted. This isn't new, it's been happening for centuries. Inflation decides not just prices, but who can rise above them. The wealthy don't fear inflation, they leverage it. Houses, businesses, stocks, debt, everything grows with inflation. Governments love it too. Debt shrinks in real terms. Bubbles are hidden. The system keeps expanding. If you live on wages, inflation hurts. If you live on assets, it helps. If you live on debt, it either crushes or enriches, depending on the type of debt. Credit cards are poison. Fixed-rate mortgages are leverage. The rich know this, most don't. 2008's financial crisis controlled inflation. Trillions created, pumped into banks and markets, not citizens. Asset prices soared, wages didn't. 2020 pandemic, same story. Inflation made the rich richer, left the rest behind. Weimar Germany, post-war Britain, 1970s America, same formula. Inflation wipes out debt, amplifies assets. Today's richest 1% gained trillions, while the median household fell behind. Inflation isn't random. It's the oldest, most reliable wealth transfer on Earth. Even when central banks fight inflation, their goal isn't elimination, it's management. A little inflation keeps the economy growing, debt manageable, and the system intact. Deflation would collapse everything. Inflation shapes behavior. Spend now, fear saving, embrace risk. It creates citizens perfectly suited for a debt-driven economy, always consuming, never fully secure, constantly chasing more. We call it growth. We call it prosperity. But it's really centuries of calculated devaluation. Inflation rewards those who live in the future, who borrow, invest, and manipulate credit. It punishes those in the present, who earn and save. And it forgets the past, those who believe money holds value. To the rich, it's strategy, not theft. Every generation learns the same truth. Money's value is never fixed. The question is simple. Are you losing it or deciding its worth? Inflation isn't the fire, it's the oxygen. And the world we built can't breathe without it. If this changed how you see the economy, hit subscribe. History has the answers, and I'll show you exactly where to find them.